Today we're going to talk about the new game from Valve, Portal 2. Compared to Portal 1, there's a lot of new elements to it, isn't there?
I'd say it's quite advanced because, I mean, the first one was just meant as a almost like a tech demo, an add-on to the Orange Box, but it gained huge popularity when it was released. So they decided to make a sequel, and that's me.
It's really good that it's been hyped a lot because it's a puzzle game and there's not a lot of
It's a bit
complex
different.
puzzle
I mean, it
games.
makes a change to your Call of Duties and your Halos being like completely overhyped, and that's the only games you ever hear about. It's good to see something a bit more creative
in the market.
in the market, indeed.
So graphics.
Graphics, I wouldn't say are groundbreaking, would you?
No, they're pretty much the same as Half-Life 2, I'd say.
Half-Life 2.
Well, they're a lot better than Half-Life 2. It's from the same engine, isn't it?
It's the same engine, but the graphics in Half-Life 2 are now extremely dated. I mean, Portal 2 still looks like a new game. It's nothing like. I mean, you compare it to Crysis, it would just look absolutely shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh,
But it doesn't need to have good graphics.
I know
The type of game it
the
is.
type of game it's not really like.
They're not even trying to make it look good because you're just going through rooms. It's just designed for the puzzles.
I'd-
not for the
I'd say
environment.
what's more important is the presentation. Like the graphics, as long as they're solid, the game looks like it looks clean and
Yeah, it needs to work basically.
yeah. Gameplay.
Gameplay. So it's similar to Portal One. You make portals everywhere, and you have to try and get to the door at the end, basically.
Yeah.
They've added some new elements to it.
Basically, from what we've played so far, it's still the same sort of setup from Portal 1. You enter a chamber, you have to work out how to get out. Normally there's a door in the other side of the room, and you're faced with some huge challenges to get there. Obviously there's some new gameplay add-ons.
They've made light bridges, which are you make pathways using portals. It's a bit confusing. There's gels that make you bounce or speed you up, and there's catapults that send you flying up.
Well, there's quite a few new elements that actually do add a lot to the gameplay. Gives you a lot more variation and things like that. The puzzles in themselves are extremely impressive. Like,
They're very inventive.
I,
You don't expect, like, you see what kind of stuff they put in it already, and then you don't expect them to come up with a new puzzle using them in such a way. Like how they use the light bridges as a barrier just off the turrets.
yeah, it's quite impressive because you think, how did someone even come up with that kind of puzzle?
Yeah.
Like, and it might only take you a couple of minutes to solve, but it's probably taken them forever to make.
Um,
But
and it's very satisfying when you're playing it. Like sometimes you can spend about 10 minutes trying to do a puzzle. When you eventually work out to do it, you're really satisfied that you finally get to do it, and that's like what makes you keep playing with it.
yeah, and anyone who uses a strategy guide is just basically shooting themselves in the foot because there's no point.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the whole point of the game is a strategy.
yeah,
Apart if you don't do that, then what's the point?
yeah. I'd say game length. Obviously, we've not completed it ourselves because we only just got it the other day. But apparently, it's meant to be 2 or 3 times.
2.5 times.
Is it 2.5 times?
The campaign's 2.5 times longer, and the co-op is 2.5 times longer than the original game, so that makes it 5 times as long as the original game, according to Valve.
Yeah. Well, we've still not got multiplayer. Apparently, I watched an interview and they said they were trying to put competitive multiplayer in, but they said it just wasn't fun, so they left that out. But they did put in an awesome new co-op mode, which kind of changes the game quite a lot because you've now got 4 portals to deal with instead of 2. We've played about 2 hours of the co-op, would you say? Something
Yeah,
like
2
that.
to 3 hours.
And some of the challenges are extremely difficult. Where
And it's very hard for you both to understand what you're doing.
yeah, there needs to be a lot of cooperation. Like,
You have to both be thinking the same thing, otherwise you've got no idea what's going on.
I don't see how it would work if you were playing online with someone without a headset, or even just someone you didn't know. Really, I think would be quite difficult because we're sitting here playing split screen, so it's quite easy to communicate what we want each other to do. But yeah, communication is essential in these, and they have added a few
They give you markers and
countdowns and stuff. Yeah,
I think that would be too hard. You would not, like, you tell them to put a portal somewhere, but what does that mean? What kind of portal? What are you trying to do? You wouldn't understand.
I know. Yeah, so
And you've both got to get to the end as well. It's not just one
Um,
person.
normally the hardest part is getting the second person to the exit. Like, you can get the first person, you're like, yes, we've done it, and then you realise how difficult it's going to be to get the second person there. Sound,
Sound, it's not a big topic.
not really, but
It's got quite good music, but it's only occasionally playing. It's like electric.
yeah, it suits the game, like down to the ground. I mean, like you've got some
It's
epic
usually,
moments.
It's usually in between levels, like when you're outside.
Yeah,
And
there's like it, normally it's just quite quiet and like to let you concentrate on solving the puzzle, obviously. But there's not the. I'd say it's the characters that are pretty awesome. They make the sound.
yeah, the
awesome.
voice acting's really good.
GLaDOS, although GLaDOS can get a little bit annoying, I think, with the auto-tune voice, she comes out with some funny comments.
Yeah, a lot of it's about the humour. Most of the speech I'd say is about humour.
I like the little robot guy. I can't remember his name, but
He's voiced by Stephen Merchant.
he's funny then, and I think his comments are quality.
He's a British guy that goes about helping you with pretty good stuff.
Lasting appeal, not much, I would say.
Well, it's a long game. Like a lot of games, single player games will complete faster than this.
Yeah, totally.
So
It all
for a
depends on
single
how.
player game, it's long.
It all depends on how good you are at the game. I'd say to how. Like,
The problem is it's not a lot of replay value because once you know how to do a puzzle, you're probably not going to want to do it again unless maybe you played it.
I don't think it'd be that easy to remember though.
You would forget it, but I think it would be annoying doing it a second time.
I think the co-op could have some replay value. Single player maybe not so much. Obviously, if the story's good, maybe the single player would be quite good to replay, but we're not quite.
Well, if it's a
honest with
25 hours of campaign gameplay, then that's pretty much what you'd expect into them. It's a long game, I'd say. But yeah, you could rent it.
and that's exactly what we've done. Right. Overall opinions on Portal 2.
It's a good game.
Well, that was
It's
fucking informative, Callum. Brilliant.
Let's go further.
I'd say rent it and buy it if you really enjoyed the first one. If you're just trying it out, it's probably best to rent. What do you think?
Yeah, I would rent it. Like you could probably it's 25. If it takes 25 hours long to complete it, you'd probably do it in
A weekend, if you
maybe not a weekend. That's
Maybe.
25 hours in a weekend is quite
definitely complete single player in a weekend. But yeah, I
a
mean,
week to complete the full game.
I mean,
And by then-
I had the sorry,
give it a week to complete the full game, and by then you're probably going to be bored of
done
it.
with it. Yeah, I mean, I had the choice of I was going to buy it for £40, which it would have cost me, but I decided I was just going to go ahead and rent it, and that cost me £5, and I got that for 5 days. So for a game like this, I don't really see much point to buying it unless you just want it for your collection.
Yeah, it's not going to
So
last you
say-
months, so definitely worth a rent.
Probably be a good game to come back to like 6 months after you played it first time, but then you could still just rent it again if you really wanted to play it. So yeah, my first impressions would say brilliant game, but not much lasting appeal.
Yeah.
Good.
But it does have a long campaign.
Yeah. Cool. All we've got to talk about for now,
So I think that's a buy for me.
and that was extremely good.